this is the flat wrench. Came with my table saw that you use to hold the arbor still, so you can take off the arbor nut and change the blade. The problem with this, aside from the obvious that flat piece of metal is just really uncomfortable to hold in your hand. But as you can see, let me bring the blade up here. The wrench goes on the inside of the blade here. And you grab the flat on the arbor, which is right there, like that. And then you have to hold this while you use another wrench, pull against them to loosen the arbor nut. And I just don't have a good grip on this. And not only is it uncomfortable, but I'm worried that it's going to slip and my fingers are going to scrape on the saw. So what I've decided to do is to make a wooden handle for this. Now initially I was going to do one out of mahogany, which I still might go and use the mahogany. What I have is a piece of rosewood. Not a true rosewood, but I got some rosewood because I need to redo the handle on this old Stanley plane. Either repair it or replace it. I think I'm just going to go with a replacement. And these were traditionally rosewood. So I thought I would give rosewood a try, and it is very hard wood. So I think I'm going to lay the handle in like that, I think. I think that should give me plenty of grip above to hold on to it. So what I need to do is I need to make a groove in here, and then I'm going to epoxy the handle in between the two pieces, and then we're going to shape the wood. So let's get to that. Okay, I've drawn my shapes out here. There's a couple of different ways I could approach this. I think the most obvious way is to take out my trim router, drop the bit down just a little bit, and route that out freehand. The thing about the trim router is, or any router for that matter, is they're messy. And I was thinking of maybe another way to do it. Let me see how thick this blade is first. That's about 1/10 of an inch thick. So we really don't need to go deep at all on this. My other thought, come with me over here. Go with me on this journey. Hear me out, as the kids say these days. My other thought was to use the Forstner bits and just make a series of just get in there, touch a little bit with the drill press, just deep enough to make a bit of a groove. But the other thing we have with the Forstner bits is, of course, you get that spike coming off the end. And then I was thinking, you know, smaller, and then a big one on here, which would be a little bit less messy and a little bit more controllable than the trim router. But now that I'm looking at it and thinking about it, quite honestly, the trim router is really what I should be doing this with. So let's grab the trim router, which I think, it's right over here. Well, we definitely got to change that bit out. That is the wrong bit. Let me go grab and put a different bit in that. Okay. You know, if I can make this work, I might do this for all the crappy tools that come with the bigger tools. All the crappy wrenches, the crappy flat wrenches, like the one for this this here router. I don't know why they never give you decent tools with these things. Decent wrenches. I mean, I've bought like IKEA furniture that has better wrenches than these. Okay, so we need to go. Let's see. If this wrench handle is about 1/10 of an inch thick, so we need to go to 0.05. How thick is 0.05? 1/16 of an inch is 0.05. So we can use our depth gauge to set our router, if that'll focus, to 1/16 of an inch cutting depth, which it looks like I just about have. I've got a little bit of leeway on that. All right, step one. Step two is the cutted piece needs to be well secured. Because there's no way in hell I'm holding this with my fingers while I'm trying to freehand route it. That's a recipe for losing fingers, is what that is. But I think I can lock it down in the vise over here. The camera over here so you can see. I think that will work. There we go. Yeah, and then I just need to freehand, and it's a little dark, but this router has lights in it. Unlike the big router that I have, that doesn't have a built-in light. See? Lights. You would think the big router would also have a light. And we definitely want full protection here for this, eyes, ears, and absolutely breathing. I have no idea how dangerous this dust is, but with a lot of these, the dust, man, you just want to be careful with the exotic woods. All right, let's give this a try. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. All right, let's do the other piece. What? Before I do, I'm going to trace this outline with a marker, just so I can see it more clearly. It's really tricky to see the pencil line. It's hard to see against the wood. All right. Okay, let's see how this, whoops, missed a couple of spots, it's all right. Grab a chisel and clean them out a little bit. Let's see how well this fits. It's a little bit proud still, so I'm going to go in, just do one side just a smidge deeper. Really doesn't need much. Okay. Good now. All right, now the pieces are fitting tightly together on both sides. So I think what we're going to do now is epoxy all of this together and clamp it. Plug that. Do a really quick spot vacuum. Just to keep things clean as we go. Alright. Take the goggles off. Take the mask off. Need a better breathing mask. I ordered one. Alright. Can you still see this? You probably can't see this now. Let's bring the camera back over. So y'all can see what I'm doing. Alright. Turn this a little bit. Oops. Here we go. Okay, so let me get my epoxy. I actually think I'm going to file this handle a little bit, or sandpaper it a little bit, just to give it a bit of texture so that the epoxy has something to bite. It's important. Some adhesives, you want them to be, you want your surfaces to be super smooth and flush. Like with super glue or CA glue, the white glue, the wood glue. Sorry, not CA glue, PVA glue. CA glue is super glue. Other adhesives, like epoxy, you want to make sure that the epoxy has something to grip to. So we want to scuff that surface up a little bit. So the epoxy has some texture. All right, let's go see what we have for epoxies. Ooh. So we've got JB Weld Clear 5-minute epoxy, and we've got JB Weld Quick Steel. I think I'm going to go with that one. Frankly, I'm going to use most of what I have in here. So now we need either a piece of scrap wood or plastic or paper. Put the epoxy on and mix it. You know what? I can actually just mix it with the handle. A larger piece. Like that. I can just mix this with the handle because I'm going to be sticking the handle in it anyway. I do want gloves though. I mean, I'm not worried about how dangerous epoxy might be to get on my skin. Although, you know, it's probably smart to avoid it. But it's just sticky and messy, and cleanup is kind of a pain in the butt. So Yeah, you know what? We're just going for the gusto here. It's kind of a nasty but a very familiar smell. Been using epoxy for a very, very, very long time. At least epoxy adhesives. In recent years, I had actually started casting things with epoxy for like the scale model work. And I know that's kind of a big thing now with like epoxy countertops and river tables. And I really liked the river tables when I first saw them. I don't know if I'm ever going to do anything like that. They're a bit cliche now, I think. I see a lot of them on YouTube and stuff. So I think when they were more of a unique thing, I think they were more interesting. But they're not so unique anymore. And I honestly think that kind of makes them less interesting. You know the trend that I really hate is the stupid burning the wood to give it a look thing that's been popular in the past few years. It never made any sense to me, and frankly, I think it looks like complete ass. I really, really do. I've never liked that look. Ooey gooey. Yep. Alright, now I want to get... Because, you know, God forbid I should have brought a clamp over before I did this. Let's go get a clamp. Or two. We're going to just use the cheap plastic clamps for this. I think they'll be fine. I mean, they're going to be plenty strong enough, that's for sure. And I think they're the least likely to bond to the epoxy, which I really don't want to epoxy my clamps. I need my clamps to this. Certainly not my nicer ones. Goop. All right. JB Weld 5-minute epoxy, do your thing. We will come back to the video when this is cured. I'll talk to you then. Okay, as you can see, we've got the rough wood epoxied onto the handle. Now I'm going to take this over to the sander. I'm going to stick the sanding bits in the drill press, and we're going to start flattening and shaping it. And because we're using the drill press, I am going full PPE on this one. I don't know how potentially toxic this wood dust is, but I do know how potentially toxic the epoxy is. I really am not going to be bothering, not going to be breathing that stuff in. So let's go do some sanding. that was loud and messy. But I think we achieved some good results. Now we're going to do some finish sanding, some hand sanding, which is not going to be nearly as messy or dangerous. Although I think I'm going to keep the mask on for a little bit. Just to make sure that the dust has had time to settle out of the air. I like that. Feels good in the hand. It's got a nice shape to it. I mean, it's nothing fancy, right? But I'm not here to do fancy. I'm here to do function. Let's see. We have the paper to sand over here. Let's be done with the coarse grits. Some finer grits. That one was at a 180, so let's step up to 220. I know this is going to be riveting television. But I'll probably fast forward through this as well. Well, let's try this. What if we clamp this in the vise and sand it that way? What do you think of that?
Got this box of fine emery paper. So let's see if we can give this a try, huh? Go with the 400. Damn it. Alright, the rubber band's off. That's all I needed. There we go. Maybe I'll make a wooden replacement for this. Oh, wow. Okay, either my knife is really, really dull or this is tough to cut through. Let's see what other cutting implements we have down here. I did it. Okay. Now we have a decision to make. Got the wax, got the tung oil, got the Danish oil, got mineral oil, and where'd I put it? Where'd I put it? Oh, it's over here, right? Yeah. Got some leftover polyurethane that I used on my floor. I think the polyurethane's out. I think this is out. This is more like a top coat. I'm not thrilled with that. So we've got mineral oil, Danish oil, and tung oil. And I'm feeling the tung oil for this project. All right, wish me luck. Here's where the magic happens. Oh, look at that. Huh? Already, look at that. know how durable this stuff is compared to other finishes. I mean, probably less durable than the polyurethane, because that polyurethane is meant for floors. Oops. Ah! But if I let this soak in, do another coat. It's a little bit of rough right there. Could have been sanded down a little bit more right there. It's good enough for this, but something for me to keep in mind going forward. Oh, I'll take this respirator off.
I think we're safe from the dust at this point. My goodness, that is lovely. What a beautiful piece of wood. Yeah, I can see some sanding marks right here. I don't know if they'll show. They might show if I can catch that in the light just right. See it going this way. So that could have used a little bit more buffing out. Wow. There it is. The handle for my wrench. I'll see you in the next video.